Hello and welcome to the topic of this video. As always, let's talk sheNEDigans. So, I don't know if you noticed by my channel, but I really love video games. They're fun, they're imaginative, there are some incredibly great stories, some really amazing mechanics and gameplay for you to be able to experience, really great characters to come across. There is just honestly a lot of really amazing things when it does come to video games where you can just go ahead and kick your feet up and just enjoy an awe-inspiring experience when it comes to this wonderful, different realm of storytelling. And then you got games like Doom where you just blow shit up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Doom today, and whether or not it's actually okay to play Doom and practice Catholicism. I mean, after all, Doom does have a lot of, to some people, concerning imagery. I mean, after all, you have the forces of hell, you have a bunch of pentagrams, 666s everywhere, and then of course demons and the undead and a whole bunch of other concerning stuff when it does come down to the content of Doom. Not to mention the over-the-top violence when it comes to these games. I mean, there's a lot of blood and gore all over the place, especially if you're playing the more recent games. They can be really, well, intense. Now, back in the day, Doom was blamed for a lot of stuff that happened in society, particularly the Columbine shootings, because of the fact that the shooters were huge fans of the first Doom video game. A lot of Christian families and conservative groups came out against the video game because of its over-the-top violence, its hard rock and heavy metal music, and of course, some of the satanic imagery that was in the video game. Other video games that were being blamed around this time for the terrible things that were happening in society were games like Mortal Kombat and Night Trap. I still don't understand why people blame Night Trap. But we're not talking about those games today. No. We're talking about Doom. Because although Mortal Kombat and Night Trap basically did kickstart the ESRB rating system within America, Doom did also get its fair share within the media, as for the things I just mentioned. So, is it okay to play Doom while you are practicing Catholic, or just practicing Christian in general? Fudge, yeah! Okay. I need to explain why it's okay to play Doom. But firstly, let me give a brief description on the story of Doom. The main character you play as is an unnamed Marine, who a lot of people have just come to call the Doom Guy, or the Doom Marine, or also the Doom Slayer. This particular Marine was incarcerated on Mars after assaulting a senior officer, when said senior officer ordered him to kill innocent civilians. So already, just with that little backstory of the Doom Guy, we already know he's actually not a bad character. He's actually a very good character. He went against orders to kill innocent civilians. Heck, he attacked the senior officer who ordered him to kill those innocent people. And for that, he was basically demoted and sent to Mars because he decided not to do something that was very evil. Now, one of the big complaints actually went to the Doom Guy, or the Doom Slayer, because of the fact that it just looks like you're playing as just some random dude going around mowing people down or mowing demons down and stuff like that. And I can kind of understand why, because Doom in of itself is not really heavy on plot, and that is something I will completely admit to. A lot of these things you kind of have to really dig into the lore and story of Doom when it comes to its books and the instruction manual that came with the game. To continue on with the story, basically what happens is there's a bunch of scientists on Mars who are trying to make these teleportation portals, so that way, you know, they can just teleport from place to place and yada yada. However, what winds up happening is, when they wind up creating these portals, it winds up making a portal to hell, of which demons start spurting out all over the freaking place and start tearing people to shreds, and also wind up possessing quite a few of the other Marines, soldiers, and scientists who are on Mars. So it's up to the Doomslayer to wipe out the demons and close the portals to hell. Now, there are a lot of other story elements that happen within the Doom video games, particularly the more cinematic ones like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, the most recent Doom video game. But overall, the story is about the Doomslayer going up against the forces of hell and trying to save humanity. Albeit in the most absolutely brutal way possible, but still, he is still a good guy and he is trying to save humanity. You know, there's a particular saint who I actually think would really get along with the Doom guy, to be completely honest. Do you know who that would be? Saint freaking Joseph, terror of demons! I bet the Doomslayer and Saint Joseph would get along incredibly well. I mean, they could just like go to the bar and go ahead and talk about how both of them are incredibly feared by demons. You know, the Doomslayer just goes ahead and orders a beer. Saint Joseph orders a screwdriver. Because he's a carpenter! Now, personally, I think it's perfectly fine to play any of the Doom games and be a practicing Catholic or Christian. I can understand why people would be uncomfortable with the content of Doom, and if you are, by all means, don't play it. I mean, it's really violent, and as I've mentioned in previous videos about whether or not it's okay to be Catholic or Christian and watch horror movies or play violent video games in general, if it's stuff that you're not comfortable with, by all means, you shouldn't play it. But I really don't believe that you should be going around condemning people for playing violent video games or watching horror movies. Especially games like Doom. I completely understand why people kind of bark at it because of the fact that it's very violent, but in the end, you are playing a good guy who is trying to fight off the forces of hell. I mean, how can a Christian not like that? I would figure that any kind of Christian would just be like buying these games off of the store shelves to fight against Satan's armies. I guess people probably just think that you're playing as this evil guy going around murdering people in the name of Satan and, you know, seeing all of the satanic imagery. I can probably guess why some people might get the wrong idea about Doom, but in the long run, you're not a bad guy. You are honestly a good character trying to fight off the forces of evil, and if that's honestly not a great endorsement to go ahead and play Doom, I really don't know what is. Now, I will reiterate, Doom is not for everybody, and although, you know, I do like a lot of these kinds of video games, including Mortal Kombat, like I mentioned in the video earlier, these games are not for everybody. There are a lot of people out there who are very sensitive to this kind of violent content, which I totally understand. There is no problem with that whatsoever. I say the same thing when it comes down to horror films. But to go ahead and just put Doom aside, and to assume that it is something basically akin to a murder simulator, or something that promotes Satanism, or something like that, I think it's just completely, well, it's just false information. That's not what Doom is. It's literally, you're playing as a heroic character who is trying to fight off the forces of hell, which, yeah, they're more akin to aliens than actual demons in a manner of speaking, but honestly, it still stands for what it is. And I love Doom for all of its insanity, basically. I mean, like I said, it's not for everybody. I wouldn't recommend everyone go and play it just because it is a very intense gaming franchise, particularly the more modern ones, not really the old ones. The old ones are really tame in comparison, to be completely honest. But if you were just thinking about trying Doom, I honestly would recommend it. It's a very fun gaming franchise. I love the older games, and honestly, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, they just up the bar every time. They are incredibly fun, engaging video games with really good mechanics, and also on top of that, like I said, there's nothing morally wrong with playing Doom. It is a lot of fun, and if you, like I said, were maybe on the edge of trying it out or whatnot, I'd say try it out. As long as you are 18 years of age or older. Or of course, parents' permission. I got to go ahead and basically give that nice stipulation right there. Personally, I'd recommend 18 or over, but that is me. I'm obviously a different kind of person. But anyways, so yeah, this has been Let's Talk sheNEDigans. Thank you so much for joining for this particular topic. How about you guys recommend in the comment section what other video games or even movie franchises I should discuss on whether or not this particular game or movie or whatever is okay to play or watch as a Catholic or Christian. Send your recommendations in the comment section below, or send them to the sheNEDigans email address at sheNEDigans@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. God bless. Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. I just want to give a huge big shout out to all of my patrons. Thank you for supporting the channel, and especially to Sarah Fesselbon, who is at the $20 producers tier. Thank you so much for helping support the channel as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and also keep an eye out for future videos, and take a look at these other videos that are right here as well. Make sure to spread the word of sheNEDigans around, and as always, God bless.